Welcome, one and all, to the 5G spot where Gator, Gurtch, and Gay all gab about games. I'm Gay.
I'm Gurtch.
I'm Gator.
And I'm Gay. And today...
We know. It's okay.
Okay, well, fuck you. Off to a great start. You didn't even let me finish the fucking sentence I wanted.
No, I did. You're right.
Today, for our inaugural episode, we have a couple things we're hitting since it is a pilot. We're gonna talk in the latter half about our predictions for 2025, but we're gonna start off talking about the Game Awards right on time. Really, not a month and a half late.
So poignant of us to be discussing the validity and the necessities of Jeff Keighley's Wet and Wild's Winter Festival.
As opposed to his hot and sweaty summer solstice soiree.
Not during the slate, not because one of us got strep and their throat was fucked up for multiple weeks, but you know.
And then another person also got the stomach flu.
And then another person's dog had a hairball and needed emergency surgery. So it's been a bit.
It's 2025, everybody.
But I mean, I like kind of that the discourse is running its course. It gives us a time to talk more about like the thing as a concept, as like its purpose in the games industry, more broadly, less about like specific winners and all that bullshit controversies. More like, why does it keep existing? We're taking a different angle, you know. It's not so much why did Astrobot win, why didn't X win, yada yada yada. It's more, you know, what is the point of this? Who does Jeff serve? Are there better alternatives? And ultimately,
who does he serve? Like, is he Kylo Ren? Like, do we not know?
A little bit. I mean, does he serve? It's more, does he serve the gamers? Does he serve the corporations? Does he serve the devs? That sort of stuff. We'll get into.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. But ultimately, the real question is, why do we keep coming back year in, year out? Why does it have, like, I think last I checked, it was like 14 million views on the YouTube stream from this year, which is truly an absurd amount.
I mean, if you also like take into account, they've been going live on TikTok, I think, the last couple years too.
Right.
So who knows how many views that's gotten. I mean, the Twitch stream consistently has like live concurrent viewers in the hundreds of thousands. So like, I would assume that, you know, even if people aren't watching it live, they are either, like you said, watching the VOD on YouTube. They are consuming content about it from people who are journalists and write about it, people who make content about it. You know, I'm sure there is a ton of things about it that are, you know, consumed by others. So that 14 million is probably stacked on stacked on stacked.
Yeah. Digi, you're noticing what I've just put up is a little bit of a surprise for you two. I thought, what better way to start this than with just a wee bit of trivia. Just a wee bit of trivia about the Game Awards, not just the Game Awards.
Oh God! I spent like the last 4 hours preparing for this, and you throw a wrench in my plans. Okay.
Oh, I got so many wrenches. Call me Ratchet. But no, I thought it'd be a good way. Yeah. I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna do some foreshadowing of topic. There's a point to it.
Okay. I understand there's a point. All right, go. Do your thing.
You know, just chime in with your answers or just scream your name. I'll call on you. We'll get it figured out one way or another. But let's do a little bit of trivia. Let's start off with just only 5 questions. Our first question here: what was the first televised Games Award show?
It was the Spike VGAs in like 2008.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
Oh.
Digi.
That
I was
my
so
answer,
confident.
so I have no fucking idea.
You were very confident. First
So-
off, the Spike BGA started in 03.
Okay.
Not 08.
If it's before 2003, I'm guessing, are we talking in a award show that's specifically just about video games?
Yes, you are.
There was probably a Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network a video game award show voted on by children on their website in like Y2K.
You are also wrong. It's even earlier than you think. We're going back to 94. To Cybermania 94, hosted by Leslie Nielsen and Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Never the fuck mind.
Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah, so this was actually the first televised award show for video games, specifically. Mortal Kombat took home the GOTY. Created by AIAS, which is the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, who we're going to talk about later. 4 years after this, they started the DICE Awards. And weirdly enough, on the production staff for this award show was a 16-year-old Jeff Keighley. Jeff has been there since the start. Everybody's favorite Nepo baby got on the production team for Cybermania 94, almost a decade before the Spike VGAs began.
Digi, in case you don't know who Jonathan Taylor Thomas is, and I had to Google to be reminded, he is the voice of young Simba in The Lion King.
I believe he was also, he's one of the brothers on Home Improvement, is where he was really
Randy,
popular.
Randy Taylor on Home Improvement.
Okay.
Yeah. I have not watched this show. I just know it exists, and I think it's insane that it happened back then in 94 on TBS. Had Jeff Keighley on the production team as they had child slaves. Jeff Keighley was a child slave at this point. That's crazy.
I'm sure he was compensated fairly for his time in 1994.
I mean, even if he wasn't, his parents were the, co-presidents of IMAX or whatever. So he was doing fine.
Yeah. He's okay.
That's a big old goose egg for both of y'all. To start off, let's get our next question here. What actor has been nominated at the Game Awards 4 times without a single win?
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker is a good guess. It is incorrect.
Fuck it, Nolan North.
Nolan North, also a good guess. Also incorrect. I think I don't know if either of them have won, but they've only been nominated a couple times, and both did previously win Spike VGAs. 4 times. You are
4 times, and this is in the outstanding voice acting category, correct?
Yes. I will give you a hint. It is a woman.
Laura Bailey.
Laura Bailey has won, actually. She won for Abby.
Okay.
Last of Us Part 2. Andy, any other guesses?
Shit. No, I don't have any other guesses.
It's Ashley Birch.
Oh shit! Yeah,
she's been nominated 4 times for Life is Strange, both Horizon games, and The Outer Worlds. Lost to Viva Seifert and Her Story, Melina Juergens, who just won her second one for Hellblade 2, and Mads Mikkelsen and Christopher Judge as well beat her out. Really,
Mads Mikkelsen won in 2019
for Death Stranding.
Who else was nominated that year?
Ashley Birch. I'm trying to. I don't remember who else off the top of my head.
2019 Game Awards. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Stall here.
But it really goes to show how perfect casting Ashley Birch was for Aloy, for a game series that constantly gets overshadowed the week it releases. She gets overshadowed at every Game Awards. Just sad to see for one of my favorite Sony game series.
So. Best performance in 2019, you had Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding. You had Matthew Peretta as Dr. Casper Darling in Control.
Oh, yeah.
You had Courtney Hope as Jesse Faden in Control. You had Ashley Birch as Parvati Holcomb in The Outer Worlds. You had Laura Bailey as Kat Diaz in Gears 5. And then you had Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff in Death Stranding.
And it's crazy, that character literally just a cliff. It's not even a person, and he still won. Bad Kojima joke. I'm sorry. Moving on. Still Goose eggs. I think you got a better chance here because it's multiple choice, though. So which of these previous TGA Best Score / Music winners did not also win the DICE Award equivalent? Is it A, Destiny, B, Doom 2016, C, Final Fantasy VII Remake, or D, God of War Ragnarok? Neither
did
one
not win
was
the
to be
DICE Award equivalent. Let's see, Destiny was 2014.
2014, 2016, 2020, and 2022, I believe.
Right, yeah.
I think I'm going to go with B. I think I'm going to go with Doom.
Locking in Doom from Andy. Digi, what's your guess?
I was also going to say Doom. Am I allowed to also pick Doom?
You're allowed to also pick Doom. It's boring.
Okay. Fine. Fuck it. Just so one of us doesn't have, or one of us is ahead, I guess I'll pick Destiny.
Well, neither one of you is ahead. The correct answer is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Fantasy VII Remake.
Interestingly, so something we'll talk about with the DICE Awards, they seem to have a strong Western bias, which the Game Awards actually kind of mitigates somewhat. It's one of the things I think they do really well is they include a lot of Japanese and even Chinese games now. But yeah, the only Final Fantasy score to get a nomination was Final Fantasy IX at the DICE Awards in 2000. The series has not received another nomination since, which is very crazy. I think I know why. Again, we'll talk about it later, but it's a wild one, brother. Next question. Still zero. This one you got like a 1 in 11 chance of getting it. In what year was the Games for Impact Award first introduced at the Game Awards, then known as Games for Change?
First introduced.
Trying to remember. I think it's within the last.
You're having so much fun with this.
I'm having a great time. Remember, we only got one question after this. If you get none right, I'm gonna be so excited.
I think I think this is in the more recent, 7. It's definitely not one of the first 2 or 3 Game Awards. I see as Jillian is raising her eyebrows up and down like a someone who's getting far too much enjoyment out of this.
I'm done, Scooby.
I'm gonna say 2015.
We have a 2015 from Andy. I'm gonna tell you that is incorrect. Digi, what's your guess?
I'm in between 2014 and 2016, so I'm gonna go with 2016.
That is also incorrect. It was in fact 2014.
2014, yeah.
Fuck!
The first
Valiant
show.
Hearts: The Great War.
Yeah, this is actually the first show. This has been in the Game Awards since the first Game Awards. Again, something I think. I mean, Jeff doesn't do a lot right, but when he does something right, we should call it out. And this is a good thing he did. The Spike VGAs never had an equivalent. Again, it was called Games for Change at that point. Valiant Hearts: The Great War, kind of a weird survival game about World War I. So it was, impactful. Not really sure why we changed the name, but Games for Change was fine for me. Games for Impact is also fine. I don't know.
Probably because they didn't just want to be I don't know. I think Impact maybe opens it up to more of a maybe things that are more emotionally thought provoking or more emotionally not emotionally charged, but something that's more if it's Games for Change, that makes it sound like that there is in my brain, it makes it sound like there's a message being portrayed by the game of, yes, this is what the game is aiming for. This is the underlying message of it. Whereas Impact could be something more akin to like a game that like gives you an emotional feeling beyond like a like call to action, if you will. More of a like a game that is like, this game is meaningful to the developer because it was created during this time and they portrayed these concepts, as opposed to this game's entire focal point is this, and it's portrayed as that. Whereas like a game for impact, it can be like kind of given more broader meaning to each individual person and kind of what they take away from it. But like at its core, it's still a game that was like meant to be like not just thought provoking, but more like emotionally like
impactful.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is, because especially if we look at like Neva winning last year, and even the one that wins in 2015. You want to take a guess?
In 2015? Oh shit, I've got
I'll
no
give you
idea.
a hint. They had a sequel come out this year, and to mixed reviews.
Was it Life is Strange?
It was Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Not really like asking for change, but emotionally impactful nonetheless.
Yep.
All right, Digi, you almost got a point there. You almost got a point. Actually, you both almost got a point, but unfortunately, it's still double baldies. All right, moving on to the last question. Andy, I
know
gotta
this one.
read it out before you say. Including the Spike VGAs and VGX, which studio has taken home the most goaties at the Game Awards? Andy clearly wants to pop off.
Now, I want to make sure, when you say studio, are you talking about an individual developer, or are we talking like a conglomerate of like Sony or Microsoft?
I am talking an individual developer.
See, that makes it tough because my gut would say Nintendo, but we don't really know what production teams from Nintendo work on each individual title. They don't really have names outside of like.
If I would say if it were Nintendo, it is not Nintendo. I'm just gonna wipe that from your mind. They've only won Breath of the Wild. If it were Nintendo, I would have counted it as one. Yeah, they've only won Breath of the Wild. But it's kind of a similar situation of there is a larger conglomerate, but this specific studio has taken home the most. It also has
Bethesda Game Studios.
Andy, it is not Bethesda Game Studios. They have one too. They won Oblivion
Skyrim and Doom,
Skyrim.
Right?
Oh, I guess Doom does count, but I would say that's id Software. Is the developer.
Okay. That's why, because I was thinking.
Yeah, it was Oblivion and Skyrim for Bethesda. Digi, do you have
I was thinking
guess?
Doom on that, but it makes sense for it.
Yeah.
I can't for the life of me think of like anyone else, but like even with their like smaller amount of games that they publish, part of me is like thinking, especially because it's saying Spike VGAs and VGX, I'm thinking like, okay, what was around that time that was like really popular and potentially won. So I think, and especially, and I'm kind of going with also based on how the last VGAs ended with their trailer and like who they were showing, I want to say it's Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog's another good guess. They also have won twice. I am gonna let this one go until you guys get it.
Okay.
Naughty Dog won for Uncharted 2 and Last of Us Part 2.
Nice. Yeah.
Really? I knew Uncharted 2. I didn't know it was just Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, 3 didn't win and Last of Us Part 1 didn't win. I know that. And 4 didn't win.
Also.
No, because 4 came out in what, 2014? Right?
18.
2018 for Uncharted 4?
Uncharted 4 did not come out in 2018.
I think that's when I played it.
Uncharted 4 is 2016.
2016.
Oh, 2016. Okay, that's okay. That makes sense.
2018 is close enough, but not quite. I'll give you a hint. This is a really like surprising hint that you're gonna be like, what? All the goatees they won were at Spike. They did not win a single The Game Award.
Bungie.
Bungie is a good guess. It is not Bungie.
Okay. I was thinking Halo.
Halo's a fair. I don't know if Halo ever actually won one. I don't think it did.
If it started in 03, at least one of them probably
maybe
was either nominated or won.
I can double check. I forget the exact. Let's see.
So you saying they haven't won one at the Game Awards kind of makes me think of two separate companies, and that's Ubisoft and Microsoft. Are the two that
neither
make me think
of Ubisoft or
insane.
Microsoft?
Because Microsoft hasn't even been nominated for a video game award Game of the Year. They have not received even a nom, which is ridiculous. I mean, not really, because I mean, but like, it's kind of wild to think. And then Ubisoft, I was thinking Ubisoft had a hot streak for a while with all of the Assassin's Creed games, the early ones, along with things like Far Cry. Like, I was really banking Ubisoft there.
I just looked up. Not a single Halo game has won Game of the Year.
Okay, interesting.
I
was thinking at least maybe 3 did.
Yeah, 3 was nominated. It lost to BioShock, which
fair.
Is fair.
It's fair.
I'll give you the years that this company has won, or that this specific studio has won, and then I'll tell you its sister studio also did win one. But the first year it won was in 2004. It won in 2004. It won again in 2008. So 04, 08. Its sister studio won in 2010, and it did like additional development on that game. And then its last Game of the Year win was at the VGX in 2013.
Fuck, I know what it is. Did you get a second guess though before I say anything?
I can't remember what won VGX. It was like the most infamous show.
It really
I can't remember. It was.
I know 100% what it is now, and I can't believe I didn't think of it. It's Rockstar.
It is Rockstar North specifically.
Yeah, that makes so much
GTA
sense.
San Andreas in 04, excuse me. GTA 4 in 08, and GTA 5 all received GOTYs. And then, Red Dead won in 2010, and they did like additional development, but that's technically Rockstar San Diego.
I think it's wild that they haven't won a VGA because they haven't released, outside of Red Dead 2.
That's the only game that's come out of Rockstar since then, basically.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Ridiculous.
The whole reason they haven't won is because they've been fucking working on GTA 6, which maybe comes out this year, maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
We'll find out in the predictions.
All right. Yes, we will. All right. Congratulations, Andy. You've technically won trivia. Barely. By the skin of your teeth.
Yeah, barely.
After I spoon-fed it to you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit you did. But hey, you know what? A spoon-fed victory is still a victory in my book.
Hey, that's that millennial participation trophy mindset we like to see.
Absolutely.
All right, your victory reward. You get to talk first about why you love the Game Awards. What keeps you coming back? What's your personal connection with it? All that shit.
So to me, the Game Awards are in my opinion, like the conglomeration of like a year's worth of like hard work and dedication, and then like obviously the like voice of the people who play the games. But I think honestly, at this point, what keeps me coming back to the Game Awards is the fact that it has become the de facto replacement for E3. And the de facto replacement of, if there is any news from a company that is not Nintendo, it is going to be saved for the Game Awards. Because we know Nintendo has shown things at previous Game Awards. Most notably, that's where we found out about the first Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC character with Joker. It's where we found out that Sephiroth was being added to Smash Bros. Ultimate. We got a Metroid Prime 4 teaser
Breath of
at
the
a
Wild
Game
was
Awards.
at the first Game Awards, actually. That
Breath of
was
the
one
Wild
of
was at the
big
first Game Awards.
reveals.
I believe Metroid Prime 4 was a video game award tease.
Prime 4 was at E3.
E3.
Oh, it was E3. Okay,
Yeah,
I could have sworn that it was at both.
I think what you're thinking of is Bayonetta 3.
It was. Yep, it was
Yeah.
Bayonetta 3. That Wii U era of Nintendo up until about when they stopped doing the Fighters Pass was like, we'll save one thing for the video game awards. And it usually revolved around, upon like further thought, outside of really Breath of the Wild being there and then Bayonetta, revolved around, well, even Bayonetta, revolved around something of a third party, like a Smash Bros. DLC announcement for a non-Nintendo character for a game that was nominated for Game of the Year last year. A DLC announcement for Smash Bros. Of the most arguably notorious video game villain of all time with Sephiroth. Bayonetta, which isn't, I mean, it's kind of a Nintendo like thing now, but originally it wasn't, getting the Bayonetta announcement there. Like, they've always brought something to the table, but like at this point, really, it's, I mean, I know when this last year's awards wrapped up, I know we looked at like things announced at the Game Awards, like previous years. I'm just going to type in a random year. Let's do 2015. 2015 Game Awards included, we got a sequel to Psychonauts being made.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We got an Uncharted 4 new cinematic. We got Telltale announcing the Batman Telltale season or series.
Remember Telltale, guys? Remember Telltale?
We got 4 new playable characters being announced for Mortal Kombat X, including the Xenomorph and Leatherface.
What was that year?
We got a trailer for Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn.
God. Yeah, it's all just like, I mean, the reveals, VR. The reveals are always like a big point of contention.
And I think honestly at this point, because the awards themselves have been kind of watered down to a point where it's like, okay, we have 31, 33 awards or whatever. It's like, that's great. But 19 of them are going to be reserved for the 30-minute pre-show or the interstitials in between Jeff Keighley getting annoyed at the Muppets. Like, Statler and Waldorf are up there going, "Hey, Jeff Keighley, you suck!" Oh, and he's like, "Okay, fine. Here's the award for best family game." and then he's like, "Okay, after family game, it's best shooter. Okay, after that, it's best adventure. After it, and we just rattle them off. And then when we do get an award presented on stage, they get 30 seconds or whatever. Like, I mean, you saw what the head of Larian had to do this year when he was like, "Hey, because I wasn't given time, let me talk."
Yeah,
and it did great. I mean, it was a power move and it was great and I appreciated it. But like at this point, do I want to know what game of the year is as voted on by Jeff Keighley and the cabal of journalists that he recruits every single year? Yeah, I kind of do, because I like to see it's the same reason why we watch the Grammys or the Academy Awards. It's because
we love watching award shows.
We do. It's one of the things we love to do, but like it's the same reason. We have things that we enjoy. It's a medium of entertainment that we enjoy watching, and we like to kind of see where the consensus lies with the quote unquote experts versus our own opinions, because we think we're experts on some stuff.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the day, it is just it's the announcements, and it's the of like when it's especially a year of like a game I really care about, which this last year, I mean, it didn't really have a ton for me, but like, you know, in a year where it's like last year where Tears of the Kingdom is nominated for Game of the Year, I'm like, okay, baby, come on, Tears of the Kingdom, when I know it's gonna lose.
Yeah, last year was not fair. Just Baldur's Gate 3. There are a lot of points. There are a lot of points in there I do want to circle back to. I want to get through like the rest of our personal shit first. So Digi, you're up next.
My apologies.
Yeah,
You're
no,
good.
you're good. Yeah, as far as like, you know, what the point of it or like what's personal for me. I mean, personally speaking, for me, um, one of my earliest memories about the Game Awards was inviting friends of mine who still lived in town with me, and because we used to do the same thing with E3, is that I would have people come over to my place. I would always host. I'd always have my laptop connected to the TV or my PS4, and we go to Twitch and we would show off like what E3 conference is coming out or what or for this for like the Game Awards. Like I think I don't know if we used to watch it on like the spiked VGAs or whatever. But we definitely when Jeff started the Game Awards back in 2014, um, we definitely started watching those. Again, I always was like, come over to my place. We're gonna have pizza. We're gonna like make it a whole event. We're gonna play we're gonna play Smash Brothers beforehand. We're gonna play Smash afterwards, and we're gonna just watch this. And I think that's always what the Game Awards has been for me. Is just it's been about community. It's been about having friends just watching this thing that like we're all gamers. We love watching like new games come out. We love celebrating the games that did come out and like get the proper praise that they get, even if they don't get the award, they get at least nominated and recognized, and that's something that I love. I mean, like Balatro this year or 2024
Yes.
got so much recognition.
Yes.
It was the reason. I mean, I played it because you guys, have been yelling
I've
at me to
been
get it, but
yelling
like,
at you both to
I
play
can
it
say it's
forever.
yeah, you've been yelling at it. My brothers have been yelling at me to play it, and I mean,
Like,
Other
yeah, you were right.
friends. It's
You were right.
I mean,
just that good.
and the fact
You
that
were right.
it got 4 awards in Game of the Year nominated alone. Like, and it's not just that. I mean, UFO 50
Insane.
got some praise. There's
Yeah.
other indie games that needed some love, and just other games like me personally, FF7 Rebirth got 7
I was gonna say,
nominations.
just
so,
say it,
Yeah,
bub. Just say it.
say Rebirth. It won best
but
score again. Yeah.
I mean, again, I didn't need it to win anything.
Yeah.
We've had our own personal conversations, but
Yeah.
like
Maybe there'll be
it's
another
just
episode.
nice.
Who knows?
It's just nice to get a win every now and then,
It is.
But
It is.
but yeah, it's always been about community for me. It's always been about getting people. That's why I'm always an advocate. Like if it's not Andy or if it's at least me or someone we know that can like get a bunch of people to either watch a stream or get in a Discord and just watch it together. Either we record it for content or we just stream it just to have a collective, a bunch of people who may not want to speak in PC but just want to talk in text. Like that's fine. I'm always going to do that. I'm like, if someone can't do it, I'm going to do it. Like, even if I've worked that day and I have to come home and I have to like last minute rearrange everything, like I'm going to do it because I absolutely love, even though I know the show can improve, I think it has done massive improvements over the years. And this latest one has probably been the best one, arguably. But
I would agree with that. It's definitely was a step up this
there's
year
still
compared
there's
to
still
previous.
room to improve, but
Oh yeah,
I mean,
oh yeah.
God, yeah. Well, we got a lot of things to talk about.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
that's what it is for me personally.
I love the community aspect of it because I really events like these are meant to bring communities together. If we go, I'm going back in my like film degree history here, but if we talk about like the original Oscars, it was meant to bring communities of like actors, directors, Hollywood bigwigs back in the 20s. Honestly, about as big as like Jeff Keighley was in 2014. It's like that sort of level. It's bringing that community together. It is meant to be celebrating it. We'll talk about the sort of tenuous nature of that. But the one thing I want to add about my personal thing before we get into it, we will get into it.
Yeah. I was just gonna make a note on like the community thing, like the way that you had people over and stuff. My buddies and I used to do that all the time too. Like I remember specifically I think it was Metal Gear Solid 5, not like the full game, but it was like the
Phantom
little
Pain.
like well there was
Phantom Pain,
there was Phantom Pain. Was that the main MGS5?
No, Ground Zeroes was the demo.
So Ground Zeroes, which was a paid demo for it, I remember the trailer for that had the sky whale in it.
Mhm.
I remember there being a large whale in a sky for Metal Gear Solid. And I remember watching that at my friend Jared's house and both of us looking at each other going, why the fuck is there a sky whale? So like when you say like had friends over and we watched it, like that's immediately what I think. And so like that whole community part, like I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. I think I mean this is like all stuff that I kind of have in my notes of what I wanted to hit on. The only thing I'm gonna add is part of the reason I really like award shows, and I really liked them when I was younger, especially like film and music and stuff like that, is because I was kind of a cultural outsider at points, and I didn't really know a lot about these like in groups that I wanted to get into. I wanted to understand the film world. I wanted to understand the video game world. So I do think kind of the thing awards do on a most basic level is they grant that recognition to certain art objects and art pieces that then sort of step off into entry for a lot of people. Balatro being like the best example in recent memory of, if it hadn't gotten all those awards, probably wouldn't be like nearly as well known as it is if it hadn't gotten nominated for Game of the Year. Still would have had like, I mean, it still would have been an incredible game for like a solo dev to release with all the sales and whatnot, but it just multiplicative effect with the awards itself. Which one thing I think it sort of runs contrary to this, even in like sort of left-leaning spaces, which we're all, you know, relatively in that world. There's always this sense of like awards don't matter. Your favorite, the game of the year is whatever your favorite game is, and yeah, to some extent that is true. But to like a broader audience, to an industry, to like concrete capital matters, it does matter. I think especially if we look at like Tango Gameworks, I don't think they would have gotten bought out and still exist if they hadn't won awards with Hi-Fi Rush. They would have been one of many different game studios that went under. Even beyond that, maybe I don't know for sure, but I feel like getting George R.R. Martin to write lore for Elden Ring might not have happened if they hadn't won Game of the Year in 2019 for Sekiro. That sort of stuff does have real concrete effects on livelihoods, on jobs, on all sorts of things. Even if it's not like personally important to you at the end of the day, it's still an important thing industry-wise.
I like. I mean, even if we look at last year's winner with Larian, I mean, a studio that like is known for this one extremely niche genre of games that isn't super. I mean, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were great. They didn't make them, obviously. So being tasked with a franchise that you are not associated with, and they're like, hey, you guys made games kind of like this. Can you do it? And just being like, yeah, I guess. And the path that it took for them to where it's like, okay, this game's a Google Stadia exclusive upon launch.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
To it getting this massive, it releases and then everyone's like, oh,
should I go find my Google Stadia controller real quick?
I mean, if you would like to,
I'm gonna go find it. Keep talking.
So, and when you think of like the path that they took to get there, and then I mean, because they kind of are an indie studio, if you think about it, like they are a small studio. They are not owned by somebody. This is an indie game that is, in most people's opinions who have played the game or consumed the game in any matter, one of the best versions of storytelling ever done in a video game. Some of the most in-depth character customization, character like driven narrative that we have seen. And like, it's fun to play, it's goofy to play. They're still supporting it. Like, that has, like you said, Jillian, has real world like impacts on the people at Larian. Like, obviously, they are not making a Baldur's Gate 4, but whatever their next project is, if it is going to be something that is independent, there's that Stadia controller. Good fucking God.
It took me a while to find it. I still need to do the like Bluetooth thing with it, so I should actually probably have that.
But like, I mean, there's real life implications for the people at Larian because Baldur's Gate 3 was so massive, because it is seen by almost universally seen as a like achievement in storytelling across any medium, an achievement in gameplay, an achievement in specific character driven narratives. Like, this is a like they've essentially almost given themselves a golden ticket of like, whoever wants to publish their next game, if they even need a publisher for it,
they don't.
They don't. But like, in case like somebody comes to them and says like, hey, I want you to do this game, or like, we'd love it if you took this franchise, or like, even if they approach a publisher, like, imagine if they approached a Dream Talk here. They approach Atlas and Nintendo and they're like, we want to make Fire Emblem. Do it, please. Make Fire Emblem a crazy RTS that's character narrative driven. It would be ridiculous.
That'll be how you finally get us to play a Fire Emblem game.
Well, it can't be through the predictions win, because the game's over 30 hours.
So. It is a long game. We got lives. But yeah, I mean, the eyes on the Game Awards are important. I think it does come back to like the E3 thing, because this is one thing that it's kind of contradictory, because it's like both a really cool thing and a really shit thing, because it's overshadowing the awards and like overshadowing a lot of what should be an award show. But at the same time, if you look at like all other award shows, like we watched the Golden Globes recently, we've watched the Grammys and the Oscars, and they all have advertisements. The Game Awards doesn't have advertisements outside of the gaming community. That's correct. That's kind of a really cool and almost brilliant thing that Jeff Keighley does. He just needs to strike, I think, a better balance.
Yeah, but like, at the same time, like, would you take a more serious award show version like the Oscars or the Grammys or the Emmys or whatever has, in turn to do like a 3 or 4 minute ad break every 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes or however long? Because I honestly, what I think needs to happen probably is for it to be split up into two separate, like, you have the Game Awards that are the awards. You have it more professional, quote unquote, like an Oscars or a Grammys. And then you have either the day before, the day after, the week after, you have a Summer Games Fest-esque showcase of, here's the 2025 Game Awards showcase, where we show you trailers from people who are I think it would be great if it was like, the Game Awards are always on a Thursday, right? Yeah. That next Friday in the afternoon, it's like, it's the Game Awards showcase. We have a trailer from a winner last night. Like, imagine that. Like, if let's say in whatever year, like, a studio wins and they're like, we're going to reveal to you what we're doing now, the day after we won Game of the Year, that would be incredible. Like, but I do think then if they do that, I mean, the money and the funding from the Game Awards comes from the trailers being shown.
Yes.
The sponsors being shown, and the smaller sponsors being shown during the pre-show. So like, you need to strike a balance and stuff with, okay, the only ads we're going to show you are for the same LG or Samsung monitor 90 times every whatever. Or like, hey, is this an ad or is it an announcement? Oh, it's for World of Tanks. It's getting a new update. This one's an ad. It's not an announcement. Like, you know what I mean?
The material balance is tough. Yeah, I think that is the problem, really.
And like, right now, that balance is just like so out of whack. And I mean, I want to say, yeah, it's Jeff's fault, but like, at the same time, the companies are wanting to showcase their games here because they know now, especially, that E3 which was the premier destination for showcasing your video game, getting people to see it, getting the people who cover video games to talk about your game, whether via hands-on, through a presentation, a trailer, or whatever. Like, it's almost like it needs to be. E3 served a purpose, whether or not it was like a positive or negative, like we're talking about with the Game Awards now. It can be debated, it can be discussed, but at the end of the day, for studios and publishers in the age of the not always online internet like we're in now, the way that you got your game coverage was by having a journalist or somebody who covered it come and sit down at your booth in San Diego, say, here's 30 minutes of Assassin's Creed 2. Go. And then they write about it in a magazine, and then you get that magazine sent to your house, and then you read it. And now when it's like Nintendo can just tomorrow be like, we're going to announce the Switch 2 on Wednesday. And everyone's like, oh, fuck, it's coming on Wednesday. And then Nintendo can just on Wednesday show you a trailer and be like, it's $400. It comes out March 15th. And everyone's like, okay, sounds good. You don't need to do that. So like it's that finding of the balance between the two that really like comes down to it. And I don't know if it's because Jeff doesn't want the balance or because he can't achieve the balance, or he needs Statler and Waldorf in his ears going, hey Jeff, maybe you should let indie developers talk about their games that they win. Oh, he'll never do that. Oh, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't want to like harp on the point too much, just because we still gotta get to our predictions in a sec. But it is. The E3 serves a purpose. I think the Game Awards also serve a purpose, but now they're trying to serve the same purpose as E3, and it's kind of getting overloaded. And that's where the issue really arises. Is we can have these multi-purpose things, but balance.
I mean, the thing with that though is like, I mean, would it be too much to ask to like separate the two in that regard? Like have your game trailer showcase, but then also have your award show, and given the time and space to like do these things.
So here's the thing with that. I think the problem in separating funding gets kind of weird if you put it one place and do it the other. But I mean, how many people are just going to watch the awards now if we take away that aspect? As much as everyone loves to complain about not giving developers space during it, or there being too many ads, that is a big part of the draw, as like we've all said. It's a part of it. It's why, I mean, this last one got 154 million viewers across all platforms, at least according to the stats I'm looking at, which is just Wikipedia. So who knows how accurate that is. But like,
I think Jeff may have like said that. He usually by like the week after he'll like say like we had this many viewers and stuff. So I mean that seems accurate, especially if it's coming from the word of the guy who makes the award show. Imagine if like imagine if the head of the Recording Academy of the Grammys was like, "Yo, we got this many views this year." Like that'd be funny. But
it would be.
But I think for Jeff, it serves the purpose of like showing like the show has grown. It has grown to a size that I don't even think that he imagined it would be. I think it grew, especially I think COVID kind of made it grow exponentially, because that year of 2020.
You want to know the numbers?
Let me hear. Give me the numbers.
In 2019, we have 45.2 million. The year before that was 26.2, so a pretty sizable increase. COVID-19 in 2020, we jump up to 83 million. We practically double.
And I think that's partly, I mean, there's a lot of factors with that. Obviously, people are stuck inside. People are playing video games more, so the larger, broader audience has a more kind of investment, especially when a game, Animal Crossing was nominated that year.
Yes.
Like, it's gonna reach a broader audience based on the games that are nominated and stuff is like that. But I mean, COVID made it grow exponentially, as you said. I think at this point, though, having it be it's not a one-man show, but it kind of is. I mean, Jeff has a team of creatives that help with running the show, designing the show, probably like how to fix things or what to do, what not to do. Like, he has a creative team behind him, but like at the end of the day, this is Jeff's baby. This is what he's wanted to do, and he's been very
he was
vocal
a 16-year-old boy at Cybermania 94.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you joke, but he has said multiple times about how much the Game Awards mean to him. And like, I mean, this year alone, with it being the 10-year anniversary, we saw multiple times where he was choked up announcing a trailer for a game.
Oh my god, Okami coming back? Fucking
he got choked up announcing Okami. He got choked up talking about
other stuff too. I don't remember what.
I think he got choked up talking about Naughty Dog's new game. I think he got choked up talking about
I think so.
Somebody presenting an award, or like, I think it was the person who won their
not Game Changer. What's it called now? No, it is Game Changer. It is the Game Changer. It was the Future Class before. Now it's Game Changer.
But like, he cares about this, and whether or not, like, that can't be debated. But I think
absolutely
it needs to be said, though, that like, he has made changes for the good. Like, I mean, if you think about last year, I mean, the memes floating around of the sign where it's Aonuma on stage. It's the creator of one of the most iconic, prolific forms of video games, like, not just video games, but like, if you think about like entertainment, everyone knows who Zelda is. Like, if you say Zelda, people understand what that word association is. And you have him on stage talking for 15 seconds, and then you're flashing, please wrap it up on stage. Like, he makes the adjustments, which are good, but I think also at the end of the day, something's got to change, whether it's the division of the two, or I don't think making the show longer is the answer either, because good Lord,
I don't think so. It's pretty long. Maybe if you
especially
do it not
this
on a
year,
Thursday night, maybe when people don't have to go to work in the morning.
Thursday. Well, that's the only day that the Peacock Theater is only $12 an hour. I mean,
true.
Come on.
It's the only day they can get all those flutes. They got to get all the flutes there.
It was the only day Harrison Ford could show up this year. All right,
it's
like,
he was
can do a Thursday, and they
thought he was Red Hulk that day. He wasn't sure. But yeah, I don't want to. We are going long on this because you did think this wouldn't take this long, but hey, we're getting there.
Long. I didn't argue.
I do want to say just two things about it real quick, and then I want to talk a little bit about the DICE Awards, because I do think it's an important corollary to have there. But one, I think Jeff Keighley's impact on the gaming industry as a whole, in terms of like its cultural capital, its presence in culture, cannot be understated. He has genuinely had a massive impact. Of course, he's not going to be perfect. I think he is trying, like you said. I think that's the important thing, is that
he has definitely stepped it up in the past too. Because good Lord, he used to be awful at this.
Yeah. Well, the Spike Awards weren't entirely his thing, so that's kind of
yeah.
He
didn't have a great attitude about it, but yeah.
Well, that's because he fucking hated Spike TV. Anyway, besides the point, he's done a lot of good for the industry. I don't think we need to focus so much on it being perfect every time, as recognizing that it does do a lot of things well. Yeah, things should be improved, and there have been a lot of missteps along the way. But let's kind of look at the competition to it, not really the competition, but the sort of corollary to it, the DICE Awards, and how those function in comparison. DICE Awards, much smaller show, no ads, no reveals. As you mentioned earlier, the Game Awards are voted on primarily by journalists. It's more similar to the way the Golden Globes are voted on. So it's not actually, though it gets Oscars level viewership for the games industry, it's not the corollary. The DICE Awards are. If we were to have, like, the video games are going to get added to, like, how people consider EGOTs, it would be the DGOT, not the Jeff got or whatever. You would have to go with the DICE Awards, because the DICE Awards are peer-to-peer, and that's the key thing, is they're peer-to-peer voting, just like the Oscars, just like the Grammys, just like the Emmys, just like the Tonys. They're all voted on by peers in the industry not journalists, not like the golden joysticks, which are the people's choice. Or
hey, golden joysticks are lovely. What are you talking about?
They were all right this year.
I liked Ben Starr.
Ben Starr's great.
That was a joy.
He was great. But yeah, the DICE Awards are interesting. I don't know how much you two have like watched the DICE Awards or are in like, consciousness of it, but just from like a statistics side, first off, they're coming in February, so if you've been complaining about them not giving enough like shit to the developers, not giving enough like time to developers, go watch the DICE Awards, February 13th this year. It's I think the 28th or something like that. They've been around since like 98. But go watch those if you want to, complain about that. You gotta at least do something. Then you're free to complain all you want. Lord knows I do. But if we just look at like the viewership for those, just the like today's view count on YouTube specifically. I told you the Game Awards have 14 million. If we're looking at how many total there was, being like 10 times that about, we can say that's like 1/10 of it. The DICE Awards. You want to take a guess how many views the DICE Awards 2024, hosted by Greg Miller, by the way.
Hosted by Greg Miller, because I remember he made
he
made a great comment about the video games industry and like the Embracer group specifically.
Yeah,
I would guess
we've never met him, but friend of the show. Gonna
throw that I went into content creation. I would say 2014 DICE Awards probably has
2024
close to
from last year.
850K.
Digi?
Oh, that was generous. I'll go 500K.
45K.
Wow,
man. See, I thought 50K, but then he said his. I'm like, oh, maybe
it is low. I mean, again, talking about like the reveals taking away from the developers, you're not getting nearly as many eyes on there because nobody's saying Okami. It's just not happening. Which is unfortunate. I did kind of mention it earlier too. Being peer-to-peer, it's mostly Western peers, so that are members of it. I don't know the exact demographics. I wasn't able to find those because, as far as I can tell, they don't release them. But based on like the credentials you need to get in and just the nominations that happened, and like their board of directors are all US based for the most part, or Europe. It's heavily Western leaning, which means you don't get as much like Squeenix representation. You do still get Nintendo because you have Nintendo of US, obviously, but like it's not as diverse, which
not as global,
which does kind of suck. It's again accomplishes a different thing entirely, but it's an alternative. It is not like the perfect thing,
right? It is an alternative.
It is an alternative. It is worth watching. I mean, I guess another alternative, the BAFTAs. The BAFTAs, they have a pretty hefty games division at the BAFTAs, and they've honestly spotlighted some pretty dope fucking games. They gave Game of the Year to fucking Vampire Survivors. They gave it to Hades.
Wow.
Yeah, they've done some really cool shit. So watch those. I don't know when the BAFTAs are this year. I didn't look that up, and honestly, I'll probably look it up after. I don't care to look it up right now.
Fair.
But
do we want to take a quick break before we go into predictions?
Sure. We can take a quick break.
Okay. When we come back, we give our 2025 predictions on what we think will happen in the video game industry.
And I'm going to be right.
Now a word from our sponsor. We don't have one.
Our sponsor is I was about to flip off the camera with both my fingers. I'm not going to do that. Our sponsor.
This break.
All right, be back in a sec.
Welcome back to the 5G spot. We just got done talking about the existential question of, do the Game Awards matter? And we are now moving on to what is sure to be a fun and entertaining portion. To round out the pod today, we are going to be going over our 2025 predictions for the gaming industry, the gaming world at large. So to give you a little bit of prefix on this, we are essentially ripping this from Triple Click.
Shamelessly stealing.
If you don't listen to Triple Click, please give it a listen. It's one of the best video game podcasts that is out there. It's very informative. It is Jason Schreier, Maddie Myers, and Kirk Hamilton.
It's like us
shout out to
if,
them.
We actually worked in the games industry.
Yes, that is exactly it. Pretty much. Except Jillian is both Kirk and Maddie combined.
Okay, well...
That's good. Kirk Hamilton does like music theory stuff.
Yeah, that's true. He does. He did also write the theme for them, and I wrote the theme.
And Maddie
for this,
is also gay.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
so there you go. That's
true.
All it is.
So
Jason
the way
bald?
that this is going to work,
make him Jason?
You pointed at me on my screen, which is really
on my screen. I'm pointing at Digi. I'm the one recording, and it matters. I am recording. They're gonna see my finger pointing at Digi, Baldy. You can't see it because he's wearing a fucking beanie, but.
Okay, so the way this is gonna work, they do 10 predictions. We're not doing 10. We're doing 5. Maybe in years future we'll up it to 10 or 7 or whatever. But this year we're sticking with 5 predictions. One outlandish one that is kind of serves as a tiebreaker and is worth double points, because it's like, if this happens, how the fuck did you know?
Just vibes, man. Just vibes.
And so you get double points, and then at the end of the year, whoever is the winner picks a game for the 3 of us to play through. Don't have to like 100% it, but like just play the game and beat it. And we'll talk about it on an episode. There's a couple caveat rules that they use. So the first one is nothing about like, this game is being delayed. Like, and we're going to be kind of lenient with that because like, it's the video games industry. And if we need to like kind of be more specific and narrow it down, we will. The second one that they use that does not apply to us is no insider knowledge.
Hey, I don't have that.
There is the occasional time where one of us might know of something because of, 2 of us make content. There are people who work in the games industry who are in our spheres. So they may know something and they may hint at something, but the times that it happened, I can count on one hand for me. So I don't
even make content, but I also have someone in the games industry who very, very small in the games industry, but I'm one step from someone who's actually notable.
Elon Musk is who she's talking about. I
actually do have a friend who did talk on Elon Musk, so she's met him and been to his house.
Even worse. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna do our goofy one, and then we're gonna talk about the game that we have picked. Jillian, why don't you start us off with your predictions for 2025?
Prediction number 1, I'm deadly serious. I think this is the year we get Taylor Swift in Fortnite.
Wow.
I think, yes. And you hear me out. Fortnite is on the rocks a little bit. They're fighting with Marvel Rivals. They got to... How are we going to compete with Marvel Rivals? I don't know. But what if there was this major artist who's going to suck shit at the Grammys this year, who's also looking for a way to boost her existence in culture? I think it's Taylor Swift in Fortnite. I think we're gonna get Swifties. It's gonna be a 2009 Christmas noobs all over again. I'm gonna curb stomp people 1v1 on Rust. But I do think I genuinely think there's a chance of Taylor Swift in Fortnite this year.
Okay. Okay.
That's part 1.
I like that. I like that a lot.
This next one, again, there's things happening with this company, but I think Xbox is going to make a very public bid to acquire Ubisoft.
Ooh. Okay.
Now I know what you're thinking. Tencent's already doing that. They have a minority stake in the company, but Ubisoft's kind of been resistant to Tencent. And I think Xbox is, also sucking shit hard right now, and could use a win.
The Guillemot family has been very gung-ho about not giving up control to Tencent.
Exactly.
So
I think
I can see it.
Xbox is going to try to buy Ubisoft. I don't know. I don't think it's even going to get resolved this year if they make this public bid, which again, I have no way of knowing if this is even a thought in anyone's head. But I think they could make a bid, and then if it starts to go through, you got to go through like the FTC and all that shit for like antitrust stuff. So it'll be a while before anything's set in stone. If it does at least happen to start this year, I think it's going to start a boulder rolling downhill. Speaking of boulders rolling downhill, this one's going uphill. I think GameStop stock is coming back, baby. I think we're going to the moon.
Oh my god.
I think we're going to the moon, dude. I do think. I know you're thinking I'm crazy. Hear me out. Last time it went to the moon was under a Trump presidency, and it was all groypers being memey. I think it's going to happen again, and I think the FTC is going to arrest someone involved with it. I don't think it's impossible.
Can I give you the take of somebody who is a former decade-long GameStop worker?
Please.
They closed 300 stores this month.
So their stock is going to be so low. Any average Joe Schmo who lives in grandma's basement is going to buy some stock.
All right. You know what? I had to
come up with 5.
I thought we were doing the outrageous one at the end.
So I do want to ask in this instance, how at the end of when it comes to the beginning of next year, how will we be able to judge on whether or not do we just look at the stock price over the last year and see what's happened?
If any major news outlet runs a story about like the X group is like actively, as they did with the last time it skyrocketed, they run a story about a bunch of Joe Schmoes buying GameStop stock. And then I think that the more concrete thing is the FTC arresting someone for it. If someone gets arrested for like trade violations,
I just don't want you to get shoehorned. I just don't want you to get shoehorned into a prediction that has all of these like caveats of like it will go back up and somebody will get arrested and blah 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 blah. Hey, so like if you're comfortable with keeping it, okay. If you're comfortable with it,
did you not hear my last two? They're equally stupid.
I wouldn't say stupid, but
okay. Well, you get ready for an actually stupid one with caveats. Hollow Knight Silksong will not release this year, but will get a trailer at a Jeff Keighley show.
Interesting. Okay.
I like that one.
So when you say a Jeff Keighley show, that is limiting you to 2
Summer Games Fest or the Game Awards.
Technically, do you count Gamescom opening night as a Jeff Keighley show?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Okay,
of course.
You have 3 chances.
Okay.
It's not looking good for me, dog.
I don't think it would be Gamescom. I think it has to be the other 2.
Yeah. This one, this last one here.
For her sake.
Yeah, I need it. This last one, literally just a prayer for myself. Sony sells the rights to Bloodborne back to FromSoft, please.
I mean,
please. FromSoft has so much power now.
That's fair. That could happen. I think that's possible.
I think especially now with Sony buying a small stake in their parent company, the likelihood of something Bloodborne related being announced this year, maybe not releasing this year, is
not releasing,
higher than what it was 3 months ago. Now, I don't know by how much, and I feel like that's, me just saying like the chances are a little bit higher, but like that's like if somebody tells you at the Powerball, hey, the first number is 5, but you still have to guess the other numbers. Your chances are a little bit higher, but not that much.
I'm not even saying that something Bloodborne related gets announced or comes out. I'm saying they give the rights back to FromSoft, with FromSoft literally just buying it back from them.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a pipe dream entirely.
Yeah.
I do not think it'll happen, but God, if it happens, I will cry so many tears of joy. All right, I just read my goofy one again. You ready for my goofy one?
Yeah, let me hear it. Yeah. Let's hear the 2-pointer.
All right. The Nintendo Switch successor's name will be revealed and will be used as slang to describe a gay archetype.
Wow.
Oh.
I think specific. I'm not going to say in my prediction specifically what archetype, but I think it will be used to describe someone who refers to themselves as a verse bottom, but is just a bottom. I think that's what we're getting.
Okay. So you're really hoping that it is being called the Super Switch?
A little bit. Either maybe the Super Switch, maybe it'll be like the Switcher U or something.
That would be worse than the Wii U. Please, God, no.
Yeah.
Nintendo's not known for making good naming choices.
Fair.
So it's not impossible.
And then, so what game, if you win, are you picking for us to play?
I am picking the, I believe, 2021 game from Acid Nerve, Death's Door. It's a dungeon crawler. It's basically a Zelda-like where it's top down. Well, ISO. You play as a little crow working for death, and you have to go reap some souls. It's it's a beautiful game. It has lovely music. The combats actually really can be challenging at points, not to the point of a Souls game, so it won't be as bad for you, Andy, but it is like interesting. It's got great humor, fantastic writing. I love the game. I need to go back and do an Umbrella only run, so that's why I'm putting it there.
So this is more so Andy gets to play the game for the first time. This is, hey Digi, finish the game already.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
I'm already like 2 bosses in.
You need to finish you're not really even 2 bosses in. You'd be like 1 major boss and like the prologue boss, I think. There's a lot more to the game.
The factory one? Yeah,
that's the first major boss.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, you are fucked. All right.
Yeah.
We'll go through all each person's predictions at the end. We'll kind of rapid fire them in the games at the end. So that is Jillian's. Digi, go ahead.
Okay. So my first prediction. Now I made a counter prediction for this one just in case this is like too niche or too specific. This is purely for me, and also I was really just trying to like think of what the fuck to put in these. So not only is Metroid Prime 4 coming out, but again, it's very specific. It's very for me. But in the game, there will be a speed booster upgrade with Shine Spark capability.
We were literally talking about this last night.
Yeah. and listen, the reason being is that
in smallest of corners with this.
I know, but I mean, I could do my counter prediction if
no. I mean, if you are confident with this, and
this is what I hope. This is a hopeful prediction, and it's super stupid niche, but I mean, I need it. I want it.
Okay.
I just want fun mobility in my first-person Metroid game, which they kind of did in 2 and 3, but they could do so much more. And I think like the fact that they've spent so much fucking time on this game, like they need.
Wait, I thought they just announced this game. I hadn't heard of this before.
What the fuck?
It was prediction 2.
All right, prediction 2. This one's like a little bit more fun, but also kind of safe. I didn't specifically say like what it's called, but I said the successor to the Nintendo Switch will have ports of these games that were not able to be on the original Nintendo Switch. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil 7, and native Kingdom Hearts titles. So we already have Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch already, but they're the cloud versions, and they've run like ass. These will be native to the new Switch, and they will run just as smooth as the Steam titles.
It'll run just as smooth as something that was released in 2018, a console that came out half a decade ago.
That you make this prediction now when multiple people cited a rumor that both Kingdom Hearts or that Final Fantasy VII remake and Master Chief Collection are coming to the Switch successor and PS5.
So I heard a similar rumor by Nate the Hate, who
and then I think Jez Corden kind of backed it up too.
Yeah, and like they were saying that FF7 remake was going to come out in this year, and then Rebirth was going to come out next year, which makes a good amount of sense to me.
Yeah.
But I wanted to like up it a little bit. Like, okay, remake, I could see it, obviously.
Yeah.
RE7, that's one of the first RE Engine games that again, RE Village came out on the Switch, but it was cloud. And again, I played it.
Cloud
it
is
ran
FF7
like ass.
remake. Cloud is FF7 remake. That's Cloud.
Yeah. Again, shut the fuck up. And again, like having, I think I was like, okay, 7 remake, RE7. I think these are like clear like ports that you want to get on your new system. Like these are like things that have been on the PS4 that it's like, come on, why is this not on Nintendo already? Like, and then I was like, okay, what's the third thing? Native Kingdom Hearts. We need this. Like, come on. Like, I think that would be a great way to get that to sell more copies. But anyway,
That's two.
My third prediction. So Sony needs a win this year. They took one hell of a beating, especially with Concord, and not a lot of good PR and whatnot. So Sony needs a win. I said that Sony either promises backwards compatibility or more emulated games of their beloved IPs, such as like Jak and Daxter, Infamous, Sly Cooper, etc. May even get a proper remaster or remake later down the line. I have seen some like possibility of like Infamous getting a remaster or remake later on. I don't know how true that is. I don't even know if Sucker Punch or anyone gives a flying shit about Infamous anymore. But personally, this is again for me.
So what I want to ask in this one is instead of, I think for wording's sake, instead of saying like they make a promise to do this, it would be a announcement of like a trailer or something would need to come out of an older PS3 or long since untouched IP.
Yeah, I would say PS2
like Pac-Man.
era at the very least. Well, no.
Hey, that's getting a reimagining this year.
Yes, and they have said they do want to work with their older IPs. So
that's what I mean. I mean, like, and after the shitty tweet that the CEO made, or the quote that someone got of him saying like, "Oh, we have no IPs" or some shit like that. I think they need to heavily emphasize, especially with the success of Astrobot and like showing
Sony
PlayStation
Graveyard won
history.
Game of the Year.
Exactly. It's like, stop making this a graveyard and actually do something with your IPs that people know and love. Like, give us a Sly Cooper, give us an Infamous.
I would say we can say like Sony announces either a remake or new game in an IP that has not gotten a release in the last decade. I think would probably be like fair. A good way to narrow it down. Because if you think of things that have come out since 2015, I mean, you can think of, Ratchet and Clank is off that list, but Jak and Daxter's on there, Infamous is on there, Sly Cooper is on there, Killzone is on there.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, I would say that kind of narrows it down significantly.
Ape Escape.
If you want to change, if you want to change your prediction to Sony announces something in an IP that hasn't released in the last decade, I think that probably is like a solid.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, easily.
Okay. Yeah. Number 4.
This one's probably my favorite one.
Oh, no.
So I did some research for the last two, and I'm thinking that not only is Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, I think they will let you play, because this is set in like a Miami-esque like world. I think they're gonna let you play as an alligator.
This is one of your serious ones?
Yeah.
For those of you who are watching on an audio medium, Jillian has left her desk.
It's your fucking Gator, bitch. Oh. Your name is Digital Gator. We get it.
So let me explain.
I do want to hear your thought process, and then I will.
Right. Okay.
I get where you're coming from, though. I do know where you're going with this.
So here's the thing. Not only in the GTA 6 trailer, the cinematic one they showed off, they did show an alligator causing some havoc, and like someone was trying to get out of their pool or something. I think that because I did look into this, I'm like, okay, how likely? Because I had a half-point compromise that you like, instead of like playing as an alligator, you get like a pet alligator, or like you get to interact with one in some way. But then I looked into it. And I typed
GTA
in
5, you get to play as the dog.
Because I thought to myself, I was like, do you get to play as an animal in any Grand Theft Auto game? And I was like, I don't think so.
Multiple times.
I looked it up.
GTA 5.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, no. In GTA 5 and GTA Online, you take a hallucinogen, and I have it up here. I have a YouTube video up about how to turn it into an animal in GTA Online. There are multiple animals, like 20 plus animals you can turn into: a boar, border collie, cat, chicken, cougar, coyote, cow, crow, seagull, just so many animals. So why not give you a native control of an alligator?
There is a mission in the main game too, where you play as what's his nuts dog, Lamar? Is that his name? His dog.
Yeah, you do play as Chop to go and
that's his name.
Like go get like search for somebody that is like running from you towards the beginning of the game. And yeah, you are correct. In GTA 5 and in online, there are, I think, 30 or 25 different like peyotes that are hidden around the map that transform you into different animals depending on the location in which you have taken your hallucinogen.
So I'm thinking they do the same thing. They've done it before, and now you have a new animal to do, and it's an alligator.
I hate that. I think you're right. I hate that. I think you're right.
This has to listen. This has to rely on the fact that GTA 6 has to come out this year.
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's the one that's like, ooh, don't know about that.
Yeah.
Best case scenario for me is it comes out January 1st, 2026, and you only play as an alligator. I think that would be ideal.
You play as a crocodile, not an alligator.
Lose my.
No, that would not.
I don't think there are crocodiles in Florida.
Yeah, they can make one in there. It's Grand Theft Auto. Who cares? They put aliens in GTA 5. All right, prediction number 5.
This is number 5.
Okay. So it's interesting. I was grinning ear to ear when Jillian gave off one of her predictions because I have a similar one. It just starts off here. I think Ubisoft is cooked. No, I think Ubisoft is cooked and is gonna either go bankrupt, dissolve as a company, or get bought out by someone else.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a given, though. Unless somehow Assassin's Creed Shadows is the best game to ever release. On
Assassin's Creed gets pretty good and does remarkably well and keeps the company afloat, because I was looking at the stocks and it's
not great
right now.
Not great.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your goofy one?
My goofy one, I couldn't decide on one, so I just did multiple in one. These all have to happen.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, Digi is banking his goofy one on a parlay here to get
a 7-way parlay.
So the first two are easy, like freebies. It's just like Bloodborne remake by Bluepoint will be announced. Silk Song is coming out this year, and the last one is I just wanted this to happen. Kingdom Hearts 4 will reveal a Star Wars level and tease Darth Vader as a potential boss fight.
Okay. Those are good.
That's goofy.
then,
it ain't gonna happen.
What game have you chosen in case you are the winner this year?
Yeah, this was a little hard because I went through most of my library and I only came up to down to 2 games, and one of them was expensive, and I was just like, well, we need to make this reasonable for y'all to get. And I was like, fuck it. I think y'all should play Neon White.
That's fair.
Okay.
That is, I've been thinking about playing it, so
yeah.
Neon White's not a bad one. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I have realized that I have gone much more serious with mine.
What do you
but
mean?
that's okay. There are still some goofy ones in here. I will start us off with my first one. The successor to the Nintendo Switch will release in the first half of 2025 and have no more than 3 original games that are only on the Switch successor at launch. So what I mean by that is no more than 3, hey, this is only Switch 2, not this can be played on Switch 1, or it's a Breath of the Wild remake or remaster. Yeah, it is 3 games made by Nintendo or not. And when I say at launch, I'm talking within that first month or 2 window of there will be 3 games that are this is Switch 2 or Switch successor, Super Switch, whatever you want to call it, only.
So just to clarify, if Prime 4 or the new Pokemon game come out on launch, that wouldn't count because those are also coming to Switch confirmed.
Correct. If they are coming to the original Switch and the successor, it does not count. It is only games that are playable on the successor that I am talking about. So in that instance, it would be like the PlayStation 5 Demon Souls. Came out within that launch window, was only on PS5. Same with I can't think of another one.
I think that's the only example.
Yeah,
I'm saying they will have no more than 3 of those.
Oh, Bugsnax also did that.
Bugsnax did also do that. So it has to be anywhere between. I mean, it could be 0 if there's no games that are just Switch 2 only.
No games, but unlimited games?
Games? So, but if you want me to say it will have at least 1, but no more than 3, I can do that, if that feels more fair.
I would say at least 1, 4, but no more than 3.
At least 1.
Have at least 1, but no more than 3 original games. Okay, cool. Number 2, Ubisoft will be acquired/sold.
Hey, not looking good for Ubisoft, y'all. Not looking good for Ubisoft.
I am not going to shoehorn myself into who, because I think it could be Tencent. I think it could be Microsoft. I think it could be Sony. I think it could be Sega. I don't think
we have no faith in this company.
Well, it's not. It's because Tencent has attempted a hostile takeover by now for at least 12 months, I believe.
Yeah.
So it has been something that has been ongoing, but because of how Star Wars Outlaws was kind of just okay, just good, not great, and because Assassin's Creed has now received a 3rd delay, it's not looking great. And if you look at the track record of what, and if you, I know, and if you look at the track record of what Ubisoft has released in the last 5 or 6 years, it's been 6 out of 10s. Far Cry has kind of ran its.
They released some 8 out of 10s, but then, or even 9 out of 10s, and then just bogged them down with random bullshit. It's been them shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. Yeah, Prince of Persia was a good game.
It was a great game. And
then it's just
But these big AAA offerings that Ubisoft has been releasing, announcing in the last 6 years ish, have all pretty much fallen short. I mean, Far Cry is not what it used to be. Far Cry, you have great people who are working on it. You have great performances. You have why can't I think of his name? Villain. He was the main. Yes, you have Giancarlo Esposito as the main villain in GTA 6. In Far Cry 6.
Bullshit.
That'd be insane.
Next prediction:
but even
Giancarlo
that's not
Esposito in GTA 6.
But like even that's not enough of a draw. I mean, and Star Wars is falling flat, and Assassin's Creed feels stale. Yeah, X Defiant was a huge miss for them. Like I just don't. Watch Dogs hasn't really gotten anything worthy of note. Like I just think that right now Ubisoft is in a spot where it is prime for someone to grasp and take hold and try to wrangle whatever IPs they can out of it. So that's my number 2. Number three. Fortnite will have a full-length feature film viewable in-game.
Now, when you say viewable in-game, do you mean like they're gonna have a live showing of it, or
you can watch a movie in Fortnite?
Does that mean it's a one-time event specifically, or like?
Nope.
Could they do? Okay, so it's like a creator island.
It would be like if, let's say, I don't know, when Superman comes out of theaters, they say it's on Netflix and you can watch it on Fortnite.
Okay, yeah.
So it would be a major full-length feature film. Just a full-length feature film will be able to be viewed in its entirety
on demand
in Fortnite. However they want to do that is up to them. I am just putting that Fortnite you will be able to log into Fortnite and watch a feature-length film. There has not been a feature-length film in Fortnite. I know what you're looking up, Digi. There have been trailers, and there have been Quibi shows featuring Chance the Rapper. There has not been full-length feature films. There's been concerts. There's been TV shows. There's been a major plot point for Star Wars Episode 9 that was not talked about in any other spot besides Fortnite in the opening crawl for Star Wars Episode 9. Mm-hmm. But I do not believe there's been a full-length feature film. And if there is, I've got a backup. I can do my backup.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll accept it.
I just looked up, like, can you watch a movie in Fortnite? And there's a YouTube video that says how to watch 3 full movies in Fortnite, but I don't know how legitimate it is. This could just be clickbait, but I mean,
to my knowledge, it's
officially
this could
sponsored.
Just be like it could just be like hey, this is in here somehow, or
someone figured out how to like get a YouTube video in there or some shit.
Yeah.
But officially sponsored, I think is something we should mention.
I think is a better way to word that.
Yeah.
It would be like touted as like a now streaming on Fortnite. It's freaking, I don't know.
So when
it's Mickey 17.
So when's the Megalopolis screening?
Collab?
Dude, can you play as Adam Driver? Oh, I mean, you actually can already. You can.
Yeah,
the next chapter is going to have time stop capabilities like Megalopolis.
And you can only use it once at the start and never again. Never again.
Yeah.
You lose your powers because you got ED or something. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Number 4.
At least 2 major live service games will shut down this year. Now, I am saying major live. I'm not talking like this one, like tiny. Like I am talking your Destinies, your Final Fantasy 14s, your ESOs, anything that is majorly, mostly online. Something will get shut down. At least 2.
At least 2.
Major live service games will be shut down. So if online or like ESO, Destiny 1 or 2 or both, I would categorize under that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
And then number 5 is Silksong will release with a trailer announcement stating it will be available later that day. It will be a Silksong shadow drop of, hey, here it is. Go have fun.
So if we get a Silksong trailer at a Jeff Keighley show, we gotta wait until the end to know. We're not gonna know who gets the point for that until the very end.
That's funny.
Yeah. I didn't write that last part down, but like I just put Silksong will release, but I'm like, no, I need to add a little stating it will be available later that day. Okay. And then my fun one, is Banjo 3E is announced.
Yeah.
That's fun for you.
Yeah. Yep.
It's fun for it's very fun for me. The game that I have picked, I was going back and forth between like 2 or 3 of them, and I have picked for a Super Mario Odyssey.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Oh,
I have not played through Mario Odyssey in multiple years, and I think it would be fun, especially if a 3D Mario game comes out this year, for us to go back and play Odyssey next year, when it happens.
Yeah.
So that is my game that I have picked.
Oh yeah.
We will wrap it up by having everyone go through their predictions and their game. Jillian, if you would like to start us off.
Yes, as a reminder, my game, Death's Door, my predictions, Taylor Swift and Fortnite, Xbox, specifically Microsoft, is going to make a bid to buy Ubisoft. GameStop stock going to skyrocket, someone's going to get arrested. Silk Song, not coming out this year, but we're going to get a trailer at a Jeff Keighley show. So Gamescom, Gamescom's opening. Yeah, we talked about that. I don't need to go in depth. Sony's giving back Bloodborne to FromSoft. They're taking it back. It's getting that Bloodborne back, baby. Free Yarnum, free Yarnum, free Yarnum. All right, those are mine.
What's your goofy one?
Oh yeah, my goofy one. The Nintendo Switch successor's name is going to become slang for a gay verse bottom.
Digi, rapid fire.
All right, so my number 1 pick is Metroid Prime 4 is going to have a speed boost upgrade or just better mobility in the game. Number 2 is the successor for the Nintendo Switch is going to have ports of FF7 Remake, Resident Evil 7, and native Kingdom Hearts titles. Number 3 is Sony is going to have a remake of an older IP like PS2 or PS1 era. Number 4 is in GTA 6 you will be able to play as an alligator. And number 5
releases this year. And it releases this year.
And it releases. Well, I mean that's an obvious one. Yeah. Number 5 is that Ubisoft will either go bankrupt, dissolve its company, or get bought by somebody else, most likely. And my insane prediction is Bloodborne remake by Bluepoint will be announced. Silk Song is coming out this year, and Kingdom Hearts 4 will reveal Star Wars level and tease Darth Vader as a potential boss fight. And my game of choice for you guys to play is Neon White.
Okay. And then mine is successor to the Switch will release in the first half of 2025 and have at least 1 but no more than 3 original games that are only on the Switch successor at launch. Ubisoft will be acquired or sold. Fortnite will have a full-length feature film viewable in-game. At least 2 major live service games will be shut down, and Silk Song will release with a trailer stating it will be available later that day. And then my double point goofy one is Banjo 3E is announced, and I have picked Super Mario Odyssey as my game to play if I win. Does that sound good to all to the 2 of you?
Sounds great to me. I think we're all good.
I think we are all good. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the inaugural episode of the 5G Spot.
If you've stuck around for this hour and 40.
Yeah, if you have, congratulations. You now get the honor of letting us plug ourselves for a small, brief moment. I believe we are all available to be followed on Blue Sky.
Yes.
If you search up Gurtch, if you search Digital Gator, and if you search, I believe it is your full handle.
Nope, it's just Stay Gay.
It is Stay Gay. If you search up the 3 of us on Blue Sky, we are there. All 3 of us are also on Twitch as well. If you go to twitch.tv/PrayTheGayWillStay, you can find Gay. If you go to twitch.tv/DigitalGator. Digigator. You can full name him if you want. And then if you go to twitch.tv/Gurtch, we can be followed there. And then I don't really know where this first podcast is being uploaded, available. We're still going to work that out.
At least YouTube.
At least YouTube.
I will say real quick, if I can just quickly plug. Also, you can find both my YouTube channels, Digital Gator and Digital Gator Bites, on YouTube. I am hoping to release a Balatro video soon. To
It may be out by the time this comes out.
You should get it. Yeah, probably. Who knows?
Who knows?
So wherever you're listening to this, if you can, boost it with a like, comment, whatever, 5 stars. If you enjoyed listening to it, we subscribe to it. We greatly appreciate it. And I think that does it. I don't know how often we're going to be doing this. I think it'd be cool to do it once every couple weeks or whatever.
Yeah, once a month, maybe. Hopefully, that'd be nice.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We've got other shit going on in our lives, so who knows?
But we're three friends who like to just, we have a lot to yap about, as you can tell by
we sure
an hour and 40
we do be
runtime.
gabbing.
So
we gab. All right.
That does it. I think that does it.
It does it. Take care, everyone. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Have a lovely, lovely January. And don't forget that, I don't know, man. I petered out there at the end. I lost all steam.
Don't forget, Free Palestine. There we go.
Hey, there we go. Free Palestine. Donate to the wildfire relief funds going on for LA right now.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.